You were listening to Sergei Lavrov along with me there, giving that statement in Moscow, and Walid al-Muallim sitting right next to him. We are waiting for Walid al-Muallim to start speaking. First, your reaction to the Lavrov comments.
Well, I heard double talk. On the one hand, he supported the Kofi Annan's plan and made very remarkable statements about it. But on the other hand, he repeated the Syrian regime spin. That the opposition is not accepting that plan, which is not true. The SNC...
The opposition did not accept
Kofi Annan's plan. Absolutely accepted it.
How so?
Well, I mean, said we are for the plan, we are supporting the plan, but we expressed doubts about whether the regime is serious about implementing the plan. Yesterday, the spokesperson of the FSC, the Syrian Army, also said we are going to abide by the plan, by the ceasefire. We're not going to attack. In fact, I mean, the FSC is not on the attack. They are on the defensive. They have very light weapons. They have very small numbers. And those who are bombarding cities and sending, helicopters, attack helicopters and tanks are the Syrian regime.
Right, but there are reports of the opposition, if we can say that, on the ground in Syria have now been formed into sort of groups and militias. So even if the opposition umbrella says we do accept Kofi Annan's plan, how much can that actually be implemented on the ground when there are widespread weapons and there are different populations of civilians holding on to weapons?
But these weapons are used for self-defense against the Shabiha. These are paramilitary people who are raping, killing, entering houses. So there is not really a war between two equivalent parties. You have the population with a very light arms by individuals defending themselves, and you have the tanks, the artilleries, and the rocket launchers by the regime bombarding cities. And just yesterday, over 150 civilians were killed by that regime.
All right, let's go back to Kofi Annan's plan for a second. We're seeing that the ceasefire has not been abided by, and there are reports of military tanks still on the streets in Syrian cities. In your opinion, does this mean that the Kofi Annan plan has failed? And if so, is it salvageable?
I wouldn't say it has failed. We hope it will not fail. We hope the Russians will come on board and put some teeth into that resolution along with the Western countries.
All right, look, I hold your thought right there because Walid al-Muallim, the Syrian foreign minister, is speaking right now in Moscow. Take a look. Okay. Let's just listen in to what he has to say, and then I'll come back to you. Louay Safi, he's still with us here in the studio. Louay is a member of the opposition group, the Syrian National Council. Louay, so now you were listening in to Walid al-Muallim. Just your thoughts on whether Walid al-Muallim and Russia's foreign minister, Sergei Lavrov, who was speaking a few moments ago, are they speaking the same language? Are they on the same page? What did you think?
Well, I mean, very close. I wouldn't say on the same page, but very close. Now, what we hear from Walid al-Muallim is the fact that he is trying to deceive the world. He said they have moved away the military units. In fact, we know that yesterday, for the first time, they sent tanks into Damascus, into Al-Mazza neighborhood. So, in fact, they are redeploying their forces, and they are not sincere about withdrawing those forces to their barracks.
Walid al-Muallim also spoke about sending in an international observer mission, and that we know is according to Kofi Annan's 6-point peace plan. And what he also said was that he wants national dialogue, and he might want Russia, in fact, to play a role in national dialogue once conditions are ripe. This is what Walid al-Muallim was saying. Where does the Syrian National Council stand today in terms of national dialogue with the Syrian government?
Well, what he said, he wants to pick those observers, the same way they did with the Arab League observers. They were picked by the government, which is unacceptable, and they want most of them to come from Russia. And definitely this regime is implicated in crime against humanity. They don't want to really have observers see what they are doing to the Syrian population. Now, we are for negotiation. We are for talk with the government that lead into democratic transition. This government is not sincere. I think we just heard Walid al-Muallim, the foreign minister of the regime. He is engaged in deception. He is not truthful. He's saying things that are not true. He is he's blaming now the Saudis. The Saudis talk about arming the opposition. They have not done anything to arm them. just threatened to arm, and now he is holding them responsible and not taking responsibility himself. And he is not saying, well, we made mistakes or we have done something that we should have not done, and let us talk about how to improve the situation.
All right. We'll have to leave it there. Thank you very much, Louay Safi, for joining us.